Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Imperfect Marketing. I am your host, Kendra Corman, and today I am joined by Atiba D'Souza. The content game is intense with third-party data restrictions, new privacy laws, growing competition, and of course, AI, right? So, what is the answer to generating more leads? Well, you need fresh, original, engaging content. But who's got the time to create content? I know most of my clients hire me because they don't have the time, and people are always looking for more, right? The answer is a customer focused, tactical, technology driven plan for radical content creation and repurposing that lands your content onto page one of Google. Atiba is the content superman. Decades of running an exclusive agency combined with hardcore technical skills. He's talking code, real code, have made him one of the few people with the skills and insight to marry emerging software and Google's algorithm with an intuitive feel for the culture of every social media platform. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here and looking forward to us having a good time together.
Yeah. Well, I love talking about content because I do believe that content is what moves us forward, what can differentiate us. So let's go ahead and jump in and start talking about video marketing. Why is
Yeah.
that so important?
Well, really simply, Kendra, in today's time, 2024, we're talking about, we're in a place where coming out of the pandemic, right? Video marketing is more important than ever because what happened during the pandemic? All of us turned to our devices and we did what? We watched video. We went to YouTube, um, Instagram, Facebook. They all started promoting video more. TikTok blew up during the pandemic, and people started realizing something that we knew forever. Video is the best way to connect one-on-one with someone that is your ideal customer other than being face-to-face with them. There is no better way. Just think about our conversation right now, okay? If someone read your intro, they may have just read it, but with your lovely, soothing voice, they felt it. They were drawn in because they got to see you, they got to hear you, and they got to feel you. You can't do that with any other platform other than video.
People buy from people that they know, like, and trust.
Without
We
question.
say this all the time, right? And I think video and even audio without video, I mean, again, you start to feel that connection with people more than anything else, right? I think it allows you to feel that you know that person, even if you don't truly know them.
Yes. And in fact, it's called parasocial relationships. There is actually a scientific term for it. Okay. And that's what video helps you build with your ideal customer. Now, a parasocial relationship is a one-sided relationship where the person consuming feels like they're getting to know the person who's delivering better. I don't know about you, but I walk into a lot of rooms where people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's you." I had a lady. I was in a room 2 weeks ago, and I was walking by. I was going to the bathroom. You know, one of those walks when you got to go, right? And she popped out of nowhere, and she says, "Oh my gosh, it's you!" And I'm thinking, "Yep, it's me, but I don't know you." And then she starts telling me about me because she's been following my social, she's been following my videos, and she feels like she knows me. She wants to come and hug me. There's instant connection. And getting back to what you said, which we preach about all the time, know, like, and trust. She trusts me, even though I have no idea who she is.
I have the same experience all the time. We'll go to an event. I'll go to an event with my husband and he'll be like, "I know that person." And I'm like, "You've never met them before." But because he borrows my social media, he sees them in the feed and he feels like he knows. He goes, "I know this person."
Yeah.
Who are they? And I'm like, no, you don't know them. You've seen some pictures of them on social media. So
Yes.
he really gets to understand that a little bit, which is fun.
Yes. Yes.
So, again, you started out in SEO.
Hmm.
You are a leader when it comes to getting things to rank. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between organic video marketing and
Hmm.
video marketing. Does it have anything to
Okay.
do with search?
Well, so video marketing is the broad overall term, right? And so under video marketing is actually organic and paid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And video marketing encompasses both of them, right? And technically, video marketing also encompasses a few other things like just doing regular videos that you put on your website, bio videos, all of that fits under video marketing. But right now, we're going to talk about organic and paid as the two big ones, especially when we're looking at social and search. Okay. Paid is just like any other paid media. You're paying to put your video in front of your ideal audience. We're not talking about that. On the organic side, that then breaks out into one, search. Every platform has some sort of search. Some of them are better than others. Instagram sucks. Just saying. Okay. Every platform has some form of search of how you can do the SEO of your content so that it shows up when someone is looking for it, right? Then there's the other side of organic marketing, which is placing your video onto a platform and allowing the platform to figure out the best people, the best audience to put your video in front of. Okay, so it kind of breaks out there. Now, I talk a ton about Google search and video. And here's why, y'all. Because honestly, Google is the largest intent based search engine in the world. What the heck does that mean, Atiba? Well, real simple. You don't go to Google to say, show me a cute cat video. No, you go to Google when you want to get something done. You need a piece of information. You need to make a purchase. You need whatever it is you need. You're trying to figure out, you go to Google and you type in something to get a result and an answer. I like people who take action. I don't know about you.
Of course.
I like customers who take action. I don't know about you. Right? And so if people are going to Google to find something that they can take action on, well, that's where I want my content to be. And so, yes, when we're talking about video and organic video marketing, I love to focus on putting stuff on YouTube and getting it to rank on page one of Google, where your ideal customer is looking for it and they can find you, and you can build that parasocial relationship and that know, like, and trust. Now, but before I go too far off of that, let me tell you why. Okay, because I want to kind of give you the results. I remember there was a client that we had, and we put some videos up, and within the first 3 weeks of the videos being up, he gets a phone call. He gets somebody to come into his office, and they just dropped down $28,000. He said it was the fastest $28,000 sale I've ever made. Okay. I have another client, and I can go on and on about clients with these. Okay. So I've got another client who they also sell high ticket products. Everything that they sell is over $20,000. It used to take them 9 months in a sales cycle to sell that. They've gotten that down to 4.5 months
Wow.
because of video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is what video does to you, especially if you're in the high ticket world. Oh my gosh, it helps you so much to have your ideal customer walk through the door with credit card in hand saying, hey, hey, hey. Okay. Most of my customers, even that come to me, they come with credit card in hand. Our sales calls are usually 15 minutes long, where they're like, okay, I know what you do. I know how much it costs. I just want to make sure it's all right. Okay, great. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's the power of video.
Video is, It is. It's truly just so powerful. Because again, it hits all of those senses. When I started my podcast,
Mhm.
it was audio only and it was moving the needle and things like that. But being able to have the video snippets on social and driving
Yes.
those to the website and different information. Don't have a ton of people following it on YouTube yet, but it doesn't matter because it's
No.
getting results.
And that's the key. And so let's touch that for a moment. Okay. Because that's the big elephant in the room. And it's one that I deal with all my clients too. I was like, oh my gosh, why don't I have more followers? I don't care. Oh my gosh, why don't I have more views? I don't care. What do you mean you don't care? Isn't that what this is all about? No, it's not. It's about getting the right people to view. If your video had 5 views and 4 of those people click through to go to your website, ding, ding, freaking ding.
Yep.
That's a win. Stop measuring the wrong thing.
Yes, no more vanity metrics. I'm tired of agencies and people trying to sell on vanity metrics
Yeah.
because I don't care how many followers you have. I don't care how big your email list is. I don't really care about a lot of those things. My thing is, are they the right people and are they taking action, right? On
Yes.
what you're sending, on what you're doing, on what
Yes.
you're creating. Because if they're not, then what's the point?
Yes. Now, someone listening to us right now is saying, but when I get those likes and follows, it feels good. Or, which I also have, excuse me, I have this issue as well, where clients come in and they get into the comparison game of comparing themselves to someone that's their competitor. Or even worse, they're embarrassed to share their YouTube channel because they feel like if I share, people are going to see I only have 850 followers, and that's not enough. It's not going to look like I'm doing anything, and it makes them feel bad, right? Now, I want you to understand something as you're listening to Kendra and I today. Okay, the reality is the followers and the likes, they do feel good, and the feeling that they give you is that dopamine feeling, right? That instant woo feeling. And that does feel good. But just like any other drug, it wears off. And then you need another hit. And then you need another hit. And then you get addicted to the hit. But the hits don't pay the mortgage. That's the
100%.
key. That's the freaking key. It
Mhm.
does not pay the mortgage. So I get that it feels good. I get that it gives you that high, that instant validation. But ask yourself honestly, how much is that validation truly worth?
I I think that that is just so powerful. So again, I want everybody to take a minute and think about it, right? What's better, results or validation? And I'm going to say it's results all day, every day. And it's very interesting. I had a client that was like, and I flat out told him, hey, we're not going to be able to measure as much as we would like because we're working on your personal LinkedIn. They don't have the same level of metrics, things like that. But he's getting replies, he's getting inquiries, filling up classes that he teaches. All of it is really
Mm-hmm.
taking it to where they need to go and ringing the cash register.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, yeah, I could post on your company page and we could just do regular posts that are not video, that are not as
Mm-hmm.
engaging, that are quicker and take less time,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not going to get the results.
Right.
And that's what's key. And then on the other side, you have my niece who's just like, can I have your phone? And I'm like, sure, here you go. And then she's like, unlock it. And then she's like, okay. She goes into my TikTok account and just starts liking all of her TikToks so that her likes go up. I'm like, okay,
And
whatever.
that means nothing.
Right?
It's pure vanity,
I didn't
right?
even watch them.
They didn't even watch them, nor are you her. Even if she was selling something, her ideal customer probably.
Definitely not.
right? And so
Definitely.
what is the purpose and what is the point, right? The other
Yep.
thing I'll say too, and maybe this has happened to somebody who's listening, and maybe this is you listening to us right now. One of the other big curses that happens to some of us sometimes in this world is every now and again a post goes viral. That is the worst thing that can happen to you. It is. So I have another client, and we've been working with her for about a year now. Early on, and I'm talking about month 2 or 3, we hit a post that it happened to hit the right time and hit 52,000 views. Okay. Now, in the rest of her account, she's averaging about 1,900 views per video, right?
Mhm.
And she's not frustrated. Why aren't all of them at 52,000? And I said, well, let's look at it a little bit closer. You had 52,000 views. And when you look at how many of those viewers actually went to your website, as compared to the next post with 1,900 views and how many viewers went to your website, this 1,900 post one drove more traffic to your website than the 52,000. So why are you trying to get everything there when it doesn't actually pay the bills? And
Well,
that's the key.
and I love it when people say things like, I want to go viral. And it's one of my friends, Andrea Walker Lighty, she's the owner of Walker Publicity. And one of the things that she says is, okay, what does viral mean to you? If you own a local coffee shop, it's not going to help you if you have a billion people in Europe and Asia
Not at
and
all.
California looking at your
Yes.
posts if your coffee
Yes.
shop's in downtown Rochester, Michigan.
Yes.
It is what it is.
It is.
I'm adjunct faculty at a local university, and
Oh,
every semester, my marketing students, when they're putting together their plan, I have them do little 5-minute videos that tell me where they're at and where they're going, because it's a lot easier than writing a little report or outline with where they're at, right? And they'll almost always, I have multiple students or groups letting me know that their number one tactic is going to be TikTok because it's going to go viral and reach everybody. I'm like, that's not how
yeah.
this works. That's
It's
not
not.
how any of this works.
And there is a KPI that you need to know too, okay? And it's called the size of your addressable market. So whatever your business is, you have to ask that question. How big is my addressable market? In other words, how many potential customers do I truly have? Now, if you're in downtown Rochester, Michigan, okay, didn't even know Michigan had a downtown Rochester, but thank you for the information. Here's the deal. Is everyone in downtown Rochester, Michigan your ideal customer? No, no, because guess what? I don't drink coffee.
Me neither.
So neither one of us are your ideal customer, okay? Nor is everyone who drinks coffee. But it's a story, if I can share real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So for 13 years, I owned a bakery that was a local gift delivery service. We did, and this was way before Cake Wars and all of those shows on reality TV. Now we were creating those 8-story cakes back then, way
Mm-hmm.
before everybody else had it on
Very
TV.
cool.
Okay. And so all these fantastic custom cakes and desserts that we used to do. And I remember getting invited when my kids were really young to one of the cousins' birthday party at a roller rink. Like, great, let's go. We're going to go see the family, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking it's a birthday party. We got invited. They didn't call us for a cake. I bet they just went to the grocery store and just got a cheap grocery store cake. Then I walk in and I see that they didn't get a cheap grocery store cake. They actually got a really nice design cake. Okay. Now, my insides started to bubble and boil just a little bit. Like, why did you give the money to someone else? Why didn't you call us? Right. Okay. So the evening went on, and I was able to pull one of the aunts aside and slyly ask about the cake and where it came from and how much they paid. Well, let me just tell you, our cakes on the smaller side started back then at $300. Okay. When I went and asked the aunt, she said, "Oh, they got it from so and so, and she gave her a good deal. They paid $65 for it." And on that, I knew we would have never done that cake for $65. And so, getting back to your addressable market and who your ideal customers are, just because they drink coffee doesn't mean that they're your ideal customer. Okay, they may be drinking what is that, 7-Eleven coffee, and you've got some organic blah blah. I don't know coffee, y'all.
Me neither.
Some high-end coffee. They'll never buy your coffee. They're not in your addressable market. And so really understanding who is in your addressable market when you're looking at how is my content doing, that's what's important. That's what's important. Not going viral. And even if you wanted to say, I want to go viral inside of my addressable market, okay, fine, whatever. But be realistic. There are 4,000 people in my addressable market. So if 400 people like it, then yes, I went viral.
Yep.
But it still doesn't matter if it didn't pay the bills.
Agreed. 100%. I'm loving this conversation, and I'll tell you why. One, we're talking about metrics. We're talking about what really matters, not the fact that you can make a video with a drone. I would say 90% of the video companies that I talk to and deal with, one of the first things that they say is, I'm a FAA licensed drone pilot. And I'm like, so? Like, I have.
Yeah, exactly.
They
Just
all
yawn.
Are.
Just yawn at it.
Right? But it's, and I get it. It has value. And for some of them,
does.
it's cool. And maybe those shots make sense in whatever it is. They wouldn't make sense necessarily in my business, right?
Not
because
at all.
I'm a service provider. And that's not really what I do. So can't really show my thoughts from a drone a camera. But again, I think it just really comes down to what matters.
Yes.
And starting with a purpose, starting with a goal of getting people to convert, or some of it can be awareness, no problem. I get it. But again, ultimately working to get people to convert is key, because if they're never going to convert, then I don't care if they watch my video or not.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Because so we've talked metrics, right? Which is the end. Now let's come back a little bit into content itself, because I think that then becomes a whole nother conversation for people in their minds about, okay, well, what does it mean to convert? Well, what it means to convert is for me to put a big old buy button and wonder why people didn't click it. Okay, no, that does not mean to convert. It does not mean to convert. Okay, so we won't go too deep into content strategy here, but the thing here to understand, y'all, is in order for someone to convert into a customer, they have to go through where we started: know, like, and trust. Now, in order for them to go through know, like, and trust, they have to, one, recognize they have a problem. Two, be asking questions about that problem. Three, you have to answer those questions. I want you to hear me clearly on this. Content is not about what you want to say. Well, I am going back to the other video people. Oh, I am an FAA certified. Nobody cares. They don't care. They only care about getting the answers to the questions that solve their problem. When you're able to give them that, that is called trust.
I love that. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, it's not about what you want to say. It's not, I have a podcast boot camp and a podcast course, and I'm always like, okay, what does your audience need to hear? What do
Yeah.
they need to understand?
Yes.
And because when you're doing your podcast, again, it's not about what you want to say. I mean, my initial episodes, like the first, I don't even remember, it might have been almost 100. My guest interview episodes were an hour long because, Atiba, I could talk to you all day. And I think it's
Oh, thank
really,
you.
really interesting. However, my people hang up at about 30 minutes into it. So we cut it down a little bit. But again, it's because that's how they're working with the content. It's not
Yes.
about what I want. It's not about the
Yes.
fact that I'm loving this conversation and can go on probably for a couple of hours. It's about what they want, what they need to hear in a way that they're going to consume it.
Yes.
Because if we've got a great nugget at, 90 minutes, they left that building a long time ago. So
25
they
minutes
never
ago.
even heard it,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think
And
that that's
go ahead.
huge. No, I think that
It
that's huge and really helpful to acknowledge and to remind people. It's not about you. It's about your target audience, your ideal customer avatar, whatever you want to call them. It's about that.
Yeah. So now let's answer the next question. Okay. Because we just said, Kendra and I just said, it's not about you. It's about what they want to hear in the content that you're creating in order to lead them through to conversion. And so then you're going to ask the question, okay, what in the heck do they want to hear? Because I think I should talk about, and then I'm going to say, as soon as you use the word "I," stop yourself. So what is it that they want to hear? So I'm going to give you a hack. How about a hack? Hack is good. Can I give them a hack? Okay,
Yep,
great.
I love this.
Here's a super simple hack. And I actually just gave this hack publicly on LinkedIn to someone too. And let me tell you how great this hack is. This hack is so great that this woman that I gave it to on LinkedIn, her YouTube channel has over 271,000 followers. She is on the news, on national news. Her and her content team had no clue about this. And when I gave it to her, she was like, "Oh my gosh, that is brilliant." Okay.
All right.
So y'all ready for the hack?
Seat.
Here's
I'm
the
on the
hack.
edge of my seat.
Go to google.com. Y'all all familiar? There's a search bar. In the search bar, put in 3 words that describe what you do. If you're a local business like that coffee shop, put in the city and the state that you serve. If you are a national business, a service provider, let's say, don't worry about the city and the state. Just put in 2 to 3 words that describe what you do. Hit enter. In some ridiculously fast amount of time, and they keep telling us how fast they're doing it, right? Google's going to return results to you. Scroll about a third to almost halfway down the page, and there's a section called People Also Asked. Those are questions that real people, real human beings, typed into Google search about your industry. So you're asking, I don't know what they're asking. Yeah, you do. Google's telling you for free. Then go make content answering those questions.
It's so easy. I love the people also ask section. I regularly talk about it. So I'm all excited that I actually knew your hack. But you forget about it. When it's not in front of you and you're not reminded of it all the time, you forget about it. That is one of the most powerful ways to create content is to just start answering questions. Because ultimately, that's what it is. When you type in, how do I blah, 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 right? How many YouTube videos come up for that? A ton. Because that's the type of content people are looking for, those questions, right?
Yes.
And so there's just so much opportunity. Thank you so much, Atiba. We will have ways to get in touch with Atiba in the show notes, as always. But before I let you go, I do have to ask you the question that I ask everybody. That is, this show is called Imperfect Marketing because marketing is anything but a perfect science. What has been your biggest marketing lesson learned?
Biggest marketing lesson learned. That's a great question. Um, and I was going to say at the beginning, I love the name of the show, right? Because marketing isn't perfect. And the biggest marketing lesson is remembering that at the end of the day, this is human to human communication. And this is about mastering one to one communication in a message and perfecting the way, which is virtually impossible, which is why it's imperfect, while we're always working, perfecting the way we share that message so that the other person actually understands what we said, the way we said it, and what we actually meant. That's been the biggest thing, because that, at the end of it, is what we do. All the other bells and whistles that we place around it, and whether it's social media or if it's print media or if it's radio, whatever it is, all of that are bells and whistles around the essence of the real thing. This is about me talking to you.
I love that. I love that so much. So, again, before you guys go, I want you to think about a couple of things. One, it's not about you. When it comes to video, it's definitely not about you, because they are not looking at your hair. They're not looking at, oh, my eyes are lopsided or anything else you can think of, right? They're also not thinking that your voice sounds like nails on chalkboard and they hate it, right? They want the content that you have to deliver. And the content that you have to deliver should be intended to answer their questions so that you can get them to take action. Because creating a bunch of content without them taking action is basically a waste of time, right? So go ahead, build that know, like, and trust factor, especially including video. Thank you so much again, Atiba. I appreciate it. We'll have ways to get in touch with Atiba again in the show notes. And if you learned something on today's episode, and I hope you did, because I know that I did, you can go ahead and rate and subscribe wherever you're listening and watching, because that would really help us out. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.